Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Black Ops 3 In Depth. In today's episode, I'm going to be showing you all of the wall run spots on the map Breach, which is the Egyptian themed map. This map has a couple of very obvious looking wall run spots, but they can be chained into some pretty ridiculous ones. We'll start off with the obvious ones just so that we don't miss them, and because they chain with everything else. You can of course run on the advertisement walls, jump and slide into the building to assault. I like being fancy, so I'll start on the other wall and jump over just to show off a little bit. But running on the inside of these walls is what you will probably see a whole ton of people doing, and maybe doing from the other side as well. What you might not see as many people doing is, if you want to start off from this side and get really fancy with it, you can start from the back side of the billboard, jump over and run around the back of the advertising, throw a grenade, or maybe just spray and pray through the middle of the building as you continue to move around the back side, completely free from being shot while you're wall running. If you want to get a little bit creative, maybe you can wall run on the inside and then switch it up a little bit and wall run on the outside. If you're feeling that maybe that outside is going to be hot, but maybe it's way too hot, you can jump down below and chain off of the advertisement, off of this sheet metal, off of all this stuff. It's a little bit tricky not to climb over the stuff, and you can't go too low on the building or you'll fall through. It's kind of like an invisible death barrier. There's not a whole lot to wall run off back there. Yes, technically you can wall run off of it, but it's not the best spot. Where you see the skid marks on the wall, it's a good place to bounce off. You can kind of chain off this side and use it to really get the drop on people through the door, or chain with the exact original wall run we saw earlier, maybe with the back side if it's scary. One thing I would tell you to do is to never jump and try and make it to the billboard from the other side, because you can't do it. It's a trap. You're going to fall off and die. On this side of the map, there are some, we'll say, more minor wall runs. Yes, you can run on the side of the burning building, you can bounce off of these, and you can chain it with the green tarp if you really want to get elevation before going in the building or before hitting this next point, but it's not that practical or useful. I don't find it helping me very much. There's a fun one here in the beginning, a little round thing. You can just kind of launch yourself off of it. You can stick to the walls. This may not be the most tactically advantageous, but maybe it'll throw somebody off, and it definitely is fun and quirky, and you make like 80 footsteps and kind of glitch it out a little bit. There's another very obvious wall run spot on the other side that you can use to jump up and chain to this wall, and it's very obvious that you should run straight ahead, and you can use this to launch pad into the middle of the open area to fight. Now that's obvious. There are some less obvious uses for it. We'll kind of show you one, the exact same thing from the other side. You can chain off of both of these walls in case you want to hit the other spawn. I think this spawn might be a little better protected in case you want to run off the back, but you can run across the side of the building and launch yourself over here to the green tarp area, as long as you don't get knocked off by any of the building gargoyles or geometry or whatever. In this video, I always encourage you to go fast, go high, conserve your meter, but sometimes slowing your roll and dropping down low is better in case you want to come down here and avoid the entire firefight. If you've got a flag or an uplink ball or something like that, you can come down here where it's very difficult to shoot you and get to the back of the map very quickly. From this exact same back of the map, you can launch pad off of the walls, and this wall, and then this is a little bumpy. I use most of my meter, but then I can chain it off of the graffiti and get the drop on anybody coming in this door quite easily. I saved the best for next to last. So this is the next to last one. I think this is the best. This combines most of what we've already learned about the map. You chain off the back walls, chain one, but you go all the way around the corner and use these flat portions. Again, you can do this below if you want to. I'm just doing high right now because that's a little bit easier, and you can chain all the way back around to the enemy spawn and get the drop on them at your leisure, or continue trying to loop around and hit all of these little more geometrically complex spots, which I have difficulty with. Once the terrain gets a little bit bumpy, it gets a little bit harder, and we are doing one of the simpler ones for last. Of course, you get a great vantage point into both the upper and lower of burning rooms with holes in them in case you want to drop in. Guys, that's all for this episode of In Depth. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. The previous episode was on engine lag, and the next episode is going to be on Exodus spots. Drifter out.